Okay, so it's graduation night here in town, and it's pretty much graduation season everywhere. So I wanted to share with you a graduation story about my cousin. I'm very proud of. So here goes. So my cousin Gary graduated from Gladstone High School. This is back in 90 something or other. I don't exactly remember. But anyway, smart kid. Super smart. I mean, straight A's all the way around. He always was. So he graduated with absolutely flying colors. And he couldn't decide between law enforcement or like the medical field, doctor or whatever. And he was getting offers from all over the place. Lots of scholarships and such. Anyway, he getting offers from everywhere. So he got an offer. I can't remember where it was. It was out of state somewhere. Anyway, it was for forensics. And you know, what a perfect pairing for someone who can't decide between law enforcement or the medical field. I mean, forensic science, man. I think he thought he may have found his calling. So what he did was, and I can't remember what city it was, but anyway, long story short. So he got a ride around with the county coroner. And for 2 weeks, he got to ride around with the coroner and just basically observe. And it was cool because the coroner was cool, and he would talk with him and you know, ask his opinion and you know, kind of test his knowledge, see what he was paying attention to and what he wasn't. Anyway, so he scheduled for a 2-week ride around, and the first week pretty much went by. Nothing too exciting to report. I believe there was like an old guy had a heart attack. Was probably the most eventful call that he went on. However, into the second week, an airplane went down. I think it was like a 747. It was a big fucking airplane, whatever it was, huge. Went down right in the middle of fucking town. And I don't know if you guys remember that on the news or whatever. Anyway, it was a fucking mess, man. It was crazy. And so they had to use, I mean, this was bad. They had to use the high school gymnasium as a makeshift morgue because there was too many bodies. You had the bodies in the plane, bodies on the ground. I mean, in the hundreds. So they were extremely short-handed, obviously. So they were using the high school gymnasium as a makeshift morgue, and he said they were on about, you know, I don't know what it was, somewhere fifth, sixth body. And the coroner was examining the body while my cousin, you know, was watching and observing. And anyway, after a while, he said that, you know, he was really catching on here and could clearly tell that the coroner needed help. I mean, this was just a sudden emergency, you know, they were short-staffed and shit. So my cousin asked if maybe he could go ahead down the line a few and check out one of the bodies. Nothing too intrusive, but he wanted to see if he could go ahead, and then maybe when the coroner got to that body, he could tell him what he thought, you know, his assessment. And then the coroner could tell him, you know, if he was close or whatever, you know. Well, you know, they were fucking short-handed, man. And so, you know, he seized the opportunity, and the coroner told him, yeah, I mean, what's he got to lose? So my cousin went on ahead to check out one of the bodies. So my cousin goes on a few bodies ahead. He said he was just gonna look at the first one that kind of struck his fancy or whatever. Anyway, so no bullshit. He went on a few, and there was a girl, naked. All her clothes were gone. He said she was really attractive. He didn't know if she was a stewardess or just one of the passengers, whatever. Anyway, so after a while, he ran back to the coroner, and because he couldn't believe what he saw. So this girl, apparently, that was there, naked, literally had a shrimp in her pussy. This was very odd, of course. So my cousin ran right over to the coroner and said, "You've got to come and see this right now." And the coroner, of course, said, "I'm a little busy. Have you looked around lately?" And my cousin said, "No, I don't think you understand. This is bizarre. Straight up fucking weird." And the coroner's like, "Weird, you got a fucking gymnasium full of bodies. What do you want, And so my cousin says, "Look, there is literally a drop-dead, gorgeous blonde over here, buck naked, with a shrimp in her pussy." And he said the coroner actually got really pissed off and was like, "This is no time or place for jokes, or whatever." And my cousin said, "I assure you, this is not a joke. Drop dead, gorgeous, buck naked, shrimp in her pussy." So now the coroner apparently doesn't know what to think. He's either fucking gonna throw this kid the fuck out of here for being a moron, or he has no time for jokes, obviously. So he told him, "You better be fucking serious." And my cousin said, "Look, I know it sounds weird, but I'm telling you, drop dead, gorgeous blonde, buck naked, shrimp in her pussy, right over there." So the coroner says, "All right, let's go take a look. You got me here, so let's go take a look." So he takes off his gloves, he puts on a new pair of gloves, and he walks over there, and as he approaches the body, sure enough, there is a drop-dead, gorgeous blonde, buck naked, laying there. So, so far, the story checks out. His assessment is perfect. So anyway, the coroner gets down there, and he spreads the girl's legs and starts looking in there. And he turns around and looks at my cousin, and he looks pissed. And, he apparently looked at him, and he said, "You know what, I thought you were a smart kid." He was rather rude, too. He said, "I thought you were a smart kid, you passed with flying colors, and you got all these honor and scholarships and shit, and you don't even know a damn thing about the human anatomy. This is not a fucking shrimp, you moron. It's a fucking clit." So my cousin looks him dead in the eyes, and he says, "Tasted like shrimp.